All right. So, two-time Grammy-nominated DJ and producer Steve Aoki is launching Aokiverse. Now, this is a community for his fans to gain access to exclusive events and opportunities in the metaverse and in real life. He joins us now to tell us more about the project and his vision for Web3 as it pertains to artists. Hello, Steve.
Hey, what's up, guys? What's up, everyone?
No, we're just chilling here on a
Just hashing
wonderful
it out.
afternoon. Yeah. Why don't you start off by
Nice.
telling us what is the Aokiverse?
The Aokiverse is an exclusive membership community that me and my team started building out a few months back, maybe like six to 8 months ago. And it's the way I see it is like, of course, there's a lot that I offer personally with live shows and everything I'm doing in Web 3.0, but it's all about the friends and family for me. It's like bringing all my partners, all the different companies and artists and projects and whatever that kind of in my network that I'm able to bring with me into this space. As I move forward as well, I'm talking to all different kinds of people so that they can join into the Aokiverse and do fun activations and collaborations and partnerships, airdrops, whatnot. And that's what's so exciting. You know, it's like I've been working with so many different kinds of industries throughout my career, and finally I have a place to be able to actively participate with all the different people that have supported me. So this is something that's like kind of a dream come true, a way to really embrace all the worlds that I'm part of. And you know, it's just like two big playgrounds to deal with. Obviously the real world playground that we have, that we exist in, and obviously, you know, the future, or actually the present at this point.
Hey, Steve, Zach here. I feel like we cover you like every month, every couple months. You're on the site, you're doing some new crypto stuff, whether that's, you know, fan-controlled football or the latest NFT drop. I just wanted to hear from you, like, what's the fascination with crypto? Like, you've clearly done several experiments in this space, and I'm curious to hear from you sort of what got you hooked and what intrigues you the most about these technologies.
I think it's exactly the fact that we are building a new frontier. If I really boil it down and I try to understand the philosophy behind it, I go back to when I was a kid and I picked up a guitar and I picked up an instrument to create something out of nothing. And I think that's the ability to try to do something new. Like, I've always been a kind of person, like I remember when I started a band, we didn't cover songs. We made new music. And that was the challenge. Like, what can we do that's new? What can we do that's building on top of things that have inspired us or myself? And this whole space is a brand new frontier. And it's allowing for so much vision and partnerships. And I think one of the most like incredible things about it is now it's like, yes, I'm so excited about what I could build in the future personally, but I'm more excited what I could build with other people, other like-minded people that are excited about innovation and technology and what, you know, how to make an experience exciting and more, you know, something that can touch you in a way that hasn't touched you before, has made you feel something that hasn't made you feel before. It's like, it's that community. It's like working with other passionate, like-minded individuals that are like, let's like, you know, disrupt, let's make something fresh, new. And it's so now too, you know, like the way I think about music, like, you know, how I've developed or created things in the past with music, art, whatever it might be, it takes a lot longer process, where here it's like, we have to move in real time. Things are changing, you know, like the timelines have shifted, and you know, now I'm like working with coders. I'm working with dev teams that I never thought I would ever work with before. You know, it's like a different kind of collaboration. So it's just exciting because it puts you outside of your box, makes you think differently. The process is different, and I'm constantly inspired at the end of the day.
Hi, Steve. Naomi here. I have a question about your fans and how they've been responding, because you've done really well in this space so far. You've sold NFTs. I raised $4 million. And so it seems they're really getting involved. Is this an area that they were already intersecting with, or have you seen it as kind of your role to bring them into this NFT space and expose them to it?
I think, yeah, there's still a healthy amount of onboarding that needs to be done. With a lot of the fans that follow me. And yeah, there is this intersection between some of the fans that are already pretty tech savvy and you know, a lot of the fans of mine that are already in crypto or already in Web 3.0 or in NFTs. But I'm trying to introduce it to a larger base of people where it's like, once you get that first kind of handheld into the space of, you know, of collecting and creating, because it is this cohabitation of both. You can be a creator. I think that's where it's like really empowering to young people. I mean, young and old, anyone that's like, I do love art. I do love you know, collecting NFTs or being part of communities, but I also want to create, and that barrier of entry is a lot lower than other industries and other ways to be a part of something, to create into something. So yeah, it's been really exciting to onboard and to, you know, kind of guide, especially not just my fans, but my friends, fellow artists, fellow musicians, fellow you know, people of influence that I know would apply some of their magic and their creativity to the space and enhance the space. So I've been very involved in the kind of the back end. You know, it's like, yes, I'm like an artist, I'm creating and I'm collecting, but I'm also like on the back end helping tons of other artists and celebrities or influencers, just, you know, help them understand the space and help them guide them in a way where, you know, they're not going into murky waters where, you know, they can, you know, get hacked or, you know, there's like so many different kind of things that can happen to people that are new in the space that I've heard about, seen firsthand. It's just you know, it's scary, it's exciting because it's brand new, and there's a lot of risks there. There's a lot of you know, pitfalls, but I mean, the frontier is wide open. So it's just something I'm like that I think that like there's so many people that can create and innovate and really, like I said, build upon what they've already been inspired on.
Hey, Steve, Will here. Thanks for coming on the show today. So kind of want to follow up on what you're talking about with the pitfalls there. Obviously, Web3 has done really well this year, bringing money to creators who otherwise wouldn't be able to get involved and be monetized. That's been tremendous, but there's been a ton of criticism across the space. I'm wondering how you think about it. So like NFTs, there's always been like this criticism of they use too much energy. They're not based on renewables. Some people think NFTs are vaporware. Some people think the metaverse is vaporware. But you're on the other side of that, right? Where you're actually using these things and you're monetizing them and you're onboarding creators into this environment and they're monetizing their content for the first time. So how do you respond to critics who otherwise are just coming at this and saying everything's a scam?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I think when you really think about anything that's new, anything that's challenging the status quo, or anything that's like, you know, taking by storm, like something that's, you know, like just like I said, like something that's new, there's always critics. There's always going to be the haters. There's always going to be, you know, people trying to bring it down. I've always been an artist that have kind of changed outside of what people expected of me, you know, like whether it's like working from one, like, you know, being an EDM DJ, but then also working in different genres. Every time I've done something like that, I've had some sort of criticism. I remember when I first started throwing cakes back in 2011, in 2012 when it became popular. I got so much hate about that from certain, groups of people. But
Can I hear what the cake hate was, though? What
Yeah.
was the cake hate?
We need to
How
talk
can you
about the
hate the
cake.
Who's
cake?
anti-cake?
What was it? Who's anti-cake? Name names. Give me. Come on.
Gluten-free people.
Yeah,
Out the cake haters.
I'd say like there's certain DJs that were like going, this is a mockery to DJing, like, should be really focusing on like the actual mixing instead of caking, stuff like that. There's, promoters that like thought it was a gimmick and they wouldn't book me because they're like, oh, this is so lame, like, it's like a gimmicky thing or whatever. And I'm trying to explain it like I'm just trying to entertain my audience and provide them with an experience that's a Steve Aoki experience. Every time I'm thinking about something, I want to always make it unique and give them something different than they haven't experienced before. But, people are going to say what they're going to say. I think with anything, anything new, especially if it's taking the world by storm, there's going to, obviously, it's going to be criticism. And of course, nothing is like 100% perfect. There's always problems with the things that you bring out to the world. There's always going to be issues. And as you develop them, when you can fix those issues, when you can start safeguarding and mitigating problems and focusing on like the good, and trying to make that, fix everything around that so that it actually is sustainable. That's really where I'm at. I'm trying to figure out how to make it sustainable long-term, work with people that have that kind of positive vision and go along the way and try to fix all the other issues that come along. I mean, there's nothing that's 100%.
Steve, we constantly debate on this show when it comes to people with celebrity status and people with influence, talking about the projects they love and that they are excited about. How do you think about your role in that as someone with influence, especially taking into consideration those barriers in education that we were talking about before?
Yeah. So what the question is like, what's my role as an influencer in the space?
Or like, how do you think about it? How do you think about the projects that you share and share information with your fans?
Yeah, there is definitely, the one thing I'm concerned about is, there's nothing 100% sure. Like you could believe in something and it can fall off a cliff, and so for me, the way I see it is like, if I'm going to share something that I'm excited about, it's like, because I'm invested into it or I already support it. And I think, it sucks to see other people, especially fans that follow you or friends that follow you, lose money on certain things or lose, whatever on certain things that you're supporting. So you have to be careful. You have to be careful on what you put out there. And I feel like the people that really care about that are, obviously going to have more of a long-term place in the whole space. And, I always look at it like this too. Like whenever I invest in something, it's, you want to know the backstory of the creators if you can. Sometimes I ape in, actually, not sometimes. A lot of times I ape into things where I don't know the backstory, and I'm kind of like FOMOing in, because I see a lot of my friends do it. I think we've all been subject to that. But if you can know the backstory of some of the projects, it goes a long way for me. If I know like the person behind the project is an avid collector that is already in the space and is investing into the industry, of course it's going to make a big difference. These kinds of things matter to me, as a collector, as a supporter, and as an influencer, and even for myself. I'm in it for the long haul with NFTs. I think this is the start. I always say this is like the preseason. If we're talking about a game, we haven't even started the first inning yet. Like Web 3.0, the term Web 3.0, I feel like it was birthed like a few months ago. You know, like it's we haven't really begin to actively know what that looks like. We can envision it, and that's why everyone's buying land in Decentraland and Sandbox and whatnot. What does that look like? What will that be? What is Roblox 3.0? You know, like all these things are being set up now, and they're not. No one's entering it. Roblox exists, right, for the kids. There's no Roblox 3.0 yet properly that everyone uses. So we're all excited. People like myself are excited about what that looks like, because I think one thing that's important to talk about is that what is Web 3.0? You know, and I had to talk to some of my friends about this. Web 3.0, the easiest way for me to explain it is that you own your data, whereas we've been okay for the last decade where, you know, Facebook has owned your data. We're okay with that. We're okay to go into a space going, you own it all. We just want to be in it because all our friends are there, and like this is just how we socialize. It's how we communicate. It's how we buy, sell, and trade. It's how we exist. And by default, these large companies own your data. Well, I love the fact that this is changed where 3.0 is like you own your data. You go to the party and you leave with your clothes on instead of taking your clothes off as you leave the house. It's like, you know, you go to a house party, you're like, okay, I got my cool outfit on, and they're like, it's time to leave, but I have to take all my whole outfit off now and like leave it at the house. Like, I want to leave with my outfit, you know? It's like, I think when you kind of explain it like that, it's clear, like, you want to be part of Web 3.0. You know, it's like, it's not so scary. And yes, of course, you know, just like that previous question, there's going to be some issues. There's going to be some criticism, and criticism is a good thing, you know, as long as it's healthy and constructive. Like, how do we safeguard it? How do we be more environmentally sound? How do we do things so we're covering the bases to make it, you know, more inclusive and you know, but the idea, I think the most important is the idea is that let's leave with our clothes on. You know what I mean? And as we build out this whole world, really excited about it. You know, there's going to be a lot of innovation. I think this is the most fastest innovative industry I've ever experienced. And you know, just like anything that's new, anything that's fast paced, there's going to be a lot of fails. There's going to be a lot of issues that arise. And yes, people will lose money. Yes, people will gain a lot of money. You know, it is that roller coaster. I'm looking for sustainability. I'm looking for the long game. You know, I'm looking for something that's constantly developing and building and being part of something long term, which is why I'm really excited about Aokiverse. I remember, like, before, when we're building out this larger platform, it was like, oh, we should do a PFP. I'm like, you know, like, of course, like a PFP would be cool, but like, what's more important? I think it's better to build a membership community that brings in all the network that I've been a part of, all the different friends and family. I mean, you think about all the different networks that just in NFTs alone, you know, from, you know, working with, you know, the hundreds and the atom bombs, and to the doodles, to Janksy, to whatever it is, like having your friends network come into your space with you and be able to participate in this bigger world, and then do, you know, interesting drops that we curate, that I believe in, that we believe in. I think that's way more exciting. I think it's going to be really cool.
Steve, we got to wrap it up now, but I have one final question. It's just a one-word answer. What's the most expensive NFT that you hold?
It's definitely the doodle, the alien doodle.
Excellent.
Yeah, that's
well,
cool. I
so
saw
I'm going
you
to go
shared
and
it on
tweet.
stage last month.
Yeah, yeah, it's the one I showed on. Yeah, I was like, wow, because it's, I mean, it is up there. It's like definitely that. Yeah, that one.